Good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, sir. We will be starting off in just a few minutes, sir.
Sure. No, not an issue. Not an issue.
Good evening, sir. We will be starting off in a few minutes, sir. Hello, everyone. Welcome to KARN Robotics. Thank you all for being here. We all know that cyber crimes are at an all-time high, and financial institutions are the main targets. As more financial institutions are shifting to digital channels like online banking and mobile transactions, the risk of cyber attacks have grown. Thus, it becomes more important to have a dialogue on the importance of data privacy in fintech. We are joined by eminent guests from all walks of life. We have Commander Mukesh Saini, Senior Advisor, Cyber Security and Privacy. We have Dr. Hari Krishna Madam, Digital Brand Ambassador and Chairman at Vision Digital India. We have Dr. Soumya Datta, Assistant Professor of Journalism and Mass Communication at Loreto College, Kolkata. We will be joined later on by Atul Kulkarni, IPS, Additional Superintendent of Police, Chandrapur, Maharashtra. And Somi Naman Srivastava will be joining us later on. He is a cybercrime investigator and cybersecurity consultant. Lastly, we will be joined by the KARN, the founder of KARN Robotics and encrypt ecosystem. Over to you, Mukesh Saini, sir. Sir, how do you look at the whole financial ecosystem at present?
Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to open the session. I wish all the best to you and your company in SKARN and eScript for
Thank
doing a
you.
wonderful job, bringing awareness, because that is the first fundamental subject which is related to awareness. There is awareness of the developers, fintech people, and the consumer, all. So you're doing a wonderful job to start with.
Thank you.
Um, let's look at the issue in slightly a strategic perspective rather than trying to look at the as a pure technology object, because if you look at the pure technology object you will solve it, but the social issues will not able to solve it, and it will not able to propagate in a manner which is required.
Mhm.
Fintech has got huge potential, huge potential, but not getting not getting fully utilized or consumed or efficiently because people do not trust. People do not trust the technology. They're very afraid to give out the information because fintech will have lot of information. One, just for the authentication and authorization purpose, they will collect the basic data on you, which is a lot. Then the fintech will have the app, and here I'm talking of pure apps perspective because fintech operation on the website, web page side is there, but not much. More is on the app side. So you don't know what is happening, what is out of control, what is not in control. They have an issue that you will have all the knowledge. How much of you will pass it to somebody else? How much I'll get the things? So there's a total, the major lack of trust, which is the main issue which require to be handled in this aspect. Number two is the banking history, the history part of a person is stored with you, stored with them, and things. Then we have bad actors coming in, like all of you must be aware the incident where it took place, that one fintech which ready to give the loan to the people, when the people have failed to pay the loan, they said, okay, don't worry, if you don't pay the loan, we, because you gave the access, we have downloaded all your videos, photographs from your system. Now we'll expose you. So that once the people learn about it, they're not ready to load. Let me tell you, I have not loaded. I don't have an HDFC Bank fintech app in my system. Right? That's the truth I'm telling you, because I do not trust. Unlike the web, especially Microsoft, I can look at many things. Here I cannot see anything. Here everything is transparent and complete trust. One. Number two, from the let's look at from the other perspective, that API, the API which your app developer has used. Are you sure they are secure API? And API have various protocols. They will interact with multiple other applications and processes. Are those processes are secure enough? Because a lot of personal data will be traveling across. So it is not just your control which is left. It is the control going out of your hand without your knowledge. So are you aware that, do you have the complete list as a fintech company? Do you have the complete list where all your information through the API is going? Is the API is connecting to an application at the backend which is further interacting with somebody? Are you in contract with them? Do you have contract with the further down the line, which is generally not? This is 99% is not. There is no relationship with the person in the backend. So where the API is getting connected up, and the app developer, what they do is they collect the various components and various APIs and build your app. The lot of people do not, the app developer themselves do not have knowledge that where all these interactions are taking place.
That's
So
true.
the developer themselves are not sure that what's actually happening to the data and where all the data is landing up. Right? So there is two clear component. One is which has to be controlled, as the fintech companies must insist that we will work only with secure API. Only if you enter into the contracts, we will work. It'll take 2 years, 3 years, let that be. But start the movement today. If you start the movement today, 3 years down the line, you'll get the result. If you say, no, we start, what will happen? Kuch nahi hone wala, tab tak to pata nahi what next will happen. So there's a lot of ambiguities will come in, but all fintech companies should get together and work together to, talk to the, as a group, make a powerful group of yourself. We'll talk only secure API. Your API backend has to be protocol wise, has to be cleared. What happened to my process? What happened to my data? Which data you will take? And and of course, on the other side, you should ensure that what are the black sheeps amongst the fintech. You should have a mechanism where, let's say you say, okay, we will form a, I have a suggestion, blind suggestion, that you form a forum that only fintechs whose app are on this forum, we assure you people, the people of India, at least people of India, that we these applications are effective and secure applications, right? And if there is a problem, we will the first chap who will inform you that this app has developed a problem. Please hold on. So we will inform you if you log in with us, if you record with us, then we'll inform you that which all apps are not working. Consolidate all apps list there and make a secure app list. You don't have to you make a forum about it. If you want, I can lead the forum. That's not an issue. Create a forum where each app is registered with them and give assurance to all people that we are a secure app, fintech app. So the trust development is required. I'm telling you, I don't have it. Very clearly, I don't have any app other than the Beam and Paytm, because I have no choice but to have them, kind of situation. Without that, I can't function. But I need much more security around it in terms of trust, in terms of my privacy, in terms of how my data is getting handled. And these things are required. I think I'll let the other people speak. I can talk on phishing. You give me 2 hours, I can speak on the subject, not an issue. So there's the phishing issues, there's scam issues, there's data breaches issues, all around it.
Thank you, sir.
Talking. So let
Thank you,
the
sir.
other
I'm Shubhajit, sir. I am also in this. I'm a part of this conference. So I have a small question for you. So, do you think this fintech issue is still a very urban problem for us? Because of the digital gap between urban and rural India, do we still think?
No.
No.
Fintech
Yes.
is heavily consumed in villages today. I'm telling you, today you find even some rickshaw pullers have the Paytm QR code on their system. Okay. So the proliferation, for whatever it may be, you say demonetization, you say pushed by the government, you say the direct home or the government initiatives. You see how much we have gone up. Like from the 2016 to today, we have almost doubled the China rate on the digital transaction. Still, there is a huge space for the fintech left. Just because the trust is not sufficient, it is not getting utilized. Once the trust is there, it will get consumed, and it will benefit everybody. It will benefit the consumer, it will benefit the market, it will benefit the nation, it will benefit everybody as long as we develop a trust around it. The problem is right now, consumer has to have trust, and you have to have trust in your app. You should not be blind. The fintech people should not be blind. What's my app is doing? If they are blind, then we have biggest problem in hand.
How we can increase the sense awareness amongst the consumers or the users about this issue?
Okay, two ways. Is once I say form a group, because no individual fintech can take on that kind of job. No fintech alone can take up a job. You can form a group, take a support from RBI, take a support from other company as their, to that company, whichever not-for-profit company you create, take a fund from everybody, let them propagate on the various media, whether social media or generic media or radio, where consumers are there, your consumers profiles are there. Based on profile, you have to have now you see how the thing is moving on the direction in the security. Government in last 6 months has started finally moving in the direction, which I'm expecting since 2004. I'm insisting. Now it is almost 16 years down the line. Finally, that thing is happening, that the things are coming up. So you have to make users aware, and give them the confidence. And confidence will not come by because you state. Please understand. You say I am secure won't work. Won't work. You have to demonstrate. And that's why I said form a group, say this fintech we are sure of are sincere, are competent, are capable, supported by RBI kind of thing or the government kind of thing, get a support, formal support from some entities, then it will work. It has to be support from the private as well as the government. Create a not for profit organization which will, like IMI is there, which look after your some
Correct.
part, right? Dr. Subbo
Mhm.
is my good friend. Subbo is the president there, and he's running that show for long. So you have to create a similar thing. Now, once upon a time, fintech was good to be part of IMI. They should continue to be part of IMI. I'm not saying that they should pull out of it, or IMI should create a some mechanism within it. We can talk with Subbo. We can talk to Dr. Subbo and say, let's create some kind of structuring here because
Correct.
they have a lot of power with them. Subbo has got a lot of power. So we can create a kind of a page only on the IMI page. These are the fintech we can sure of. At least these are we sure of. More may be good or bad. We're not saying that, but we are sure of these are the authentic ones.
Correct, sir.
You
Thank
have
you, sir. Wonderful.
to trust.
Wonderful listening to you. And on this thing, on this note, I would like to bring in KARN, the founder of KARN Robotics and the inventor of encrypt search engine. I think KARN is there. So as we speak about the responsibility, the app makers should be more responsible. So what do you
Hmm.
think? What's your take on that? Why we need more responsible techies at this moment, to combat this kind of issues?
First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and all the people, those are going to come. So, as you said, and as Mr. Mukesh was saying about we have to create a forum and all these aspects. I would recommend here in terms of working on the forum side. I mean, all these companies, those who are working on, any sort of technology. I'm not talking about fintech, HR, or any sort of things. Any fintech, they all have, personal data, as he said already. Yeah. Our concern is about first we have to protect personal data, then we're gonna think about the fintech, because first you go with the for example, today every single thing about you is out there. You know what I'm trying to say? And once something is out there already, that means we can't protect that. Because even if we're gonna think okay, you are using a fintech with a good company, and they are providing you all the right APIs or whatever you're looking into. Because I don't see any company in India or a startup that have the fintech called fintech really, because there is no, I mean, technology technically, because you are connected with lots of companies, and then he already said that. And because, I mean, you give me the right chance to even explain those things, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Mukesh, as you said, because the companies, those who are offering this fintech technology, I don't really see there is a technology to myself. I see just a plug and play things going on. And as he said already, the people don't even know where the data coming from and where the data going from. You know what I'm trying to say? First, I believe, according to myself, is we have to protect the personal information that is going and traveling from one place to another place. To use any sort of applications, or maybe you can say web application, you need to search online, right? Internet is the biggest problem here. So what we're gonna do here is about I'm not saying problem. I'm just trying to say problem means where all these things going to be started. So to use the fintech, you're gonna be using any sort of search engine where you're gonna search, then you're gonna browse, and then after you're gonna visit to that application, or maybe you can call it a web application. Once you start visiting there, your information is started, you know, transferring, or maybe sharing, or maybe going somewhere else from that point of time only. So first we have to protect from there, then we're gonna come to the fintech. Am I right? And once we are coming to the fintech, then we have to understand I mean, even I have a product that is also a fintech, but I'm not connected with any company. That's what I'm trying to say. And we're gonna be launching soon, because what I have seen about the fintech till now is not something that we're gonna be relying on it. Because every single company that is providing you a facility, you can see they are not really something a technology, according to me. That's what I'm trying to say. And because every single startup that is getting funded, or maybe you can say like that is getting supported by the governments or anyone, they all having some kind of perspective in terms of like they are taking some API from here, they are taking API from there, and then after they are just merging all together and they are offering you a application. You know, so I'm trying to say that's not the real technology is. Technology is about the innovation, and once we talk about a startup means innovation. If you can't do innovate, if you can't innovate, then you can't call yourself a startup. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like those who say that I'm a startup, that is also wrong. Just what I'm trying to say. Because you are not offering the right innovation. And if you are not offering the right innovation, then why we are calling ourselves a startup? Because the certain point of time, what happens, like an app developer or maybe a web application developer, they need to understand if something is existing already in the market, then you have to provide something that is going to be a future for technology. And if you're not able to provide that, that means like we shouldn't start your company or start a startup, according to me. So if it comes to directly connect with the fintech, when it comes about the fintech, then we have to understand about like whenever we are started using any sort of application, or maybe of as you said, like a transaction application, or maybe you can say like e-wallet, or maybe you can say like you know um, transferring money from one place to another place in terms of like a foreign currency exchange. These all are common in fintech right now. And once, or maybe you can just open a personal or business account online right now. But these all people are taking data via camera, your passport, your ID proofs, they all are there. Am I right? Yeah. And once it's there, then the problem starts for that company to protect from there. But that company is connected with 10 more company. And these all 10 company, they are sharing each other. You know what I'm trying to say? So on that point of time, it's up to you how you're going to provide that. I don't think that I should have to say as a company anything else, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, it's like we are not seeing any fintech right now that is really innovative for me, according to myself.
So the two things you have very rightly pointed. One is the scrapping of data, which the people can collect and use and
Yeah.
can be abused by the bad people to represent you fakely. Number two is innovation. Like
Mm.
before I go into innovation, very interesting thing is Air India. Now Air India, huge data got leaked. Nothing happened to Air India.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing means nothing. No, no, no bad names, too much of bad name. Perfectly all right. Now, in fact, it is gone up. Tata has bought it today, finally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
Air India will get not penalized. There is no penalty. There is no, so until as the privacy data protection bill comes up, nothing going to happen. First thing.
No, no, no.
Right?
So
Personal
that's
data.
why I always say that it's like as a company we have to be more responsible, because data protection law or data what's it called security law, these are not the concern of audience or users, or this shouldn't have our concern. Our concern is about like if I'm offering a product, then it's my responsibility to provide you the right product, not to say something and advertise something and give you something that you might have no idea about. And then after you start leaking everything because you know that you have no idea where these things are coming from. So on that point of time, even today, what I've seen, according to my experience till now, because it took me quite a long time to create this whole ecosystem. And when I came with the ecosystem, I feel more confident about like, what we have today, it's something is this is the future, because now even if you provide you any sort of applications that is going to come in our company in future, that is going to be a ecosystem part that not gonna let you to share somewhere else. That's why we work on our own in-house things instead of sharing with someone else. Just what I'm trying to say. So these are the real small things that people have to care about before even think of like, okay, there is a lots of company they are offering, because I've seen companies that is 10 years older than me, but still they are relying on the same ways. I don't know.
Correct.
So if you see like those things are going on regularly, it's really hard to, manage those things, according to me.
So India, mein, the habit is very peculiar. The people don't wear helmet
Mm.
because they will die or they'll get accident. They wear helmet because the policeman standing there.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Right?
Because like,
That's how the security is in India. There's
I
nobody,
mean, and that's
nobody
why I say
I
that.
see people not wearing helmet because of any other reason, but for the policemen. They're
Yeah,
not
and that's
bothered.
why I
Their
say that.
life is getting involved,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
So that's why I say like if the company is taking responsibility from the day one and from the beginning, they don't even have to care about. Am I right
No,
here?
no, but they
Because
won't. What I'm trying to say, so sorry to interrupt you, but they
no, no, no,
won't.
that's fine.
Till the
Please.
law comes to being, which is heavy penalty oriented,
Hmm.
which will say wear helmet or we'll put a punishment on you, they will not do. We must understand the psychology. That's why I'm said from the very
No,
start
no.
that
So what
I'm going to
happens?
talk the technology. I'm going to talk
Hmm.
beyond that.
No, no. So the reason behind, as you said, like this helmet part is not related to users because this is our responsibility to give them a helmet before they even start using our products. So I'm trying to say. So once we're gonna provide their our own helmet, they might gonna feel like okay, they have no idea, but still they are using while wearing the helmet. You know what I'm saying? So this is as a company, it's our responsibility, not them. So as I mean, I feel it like as a company, what we have seen with the other companies right now, and according to my experience, because companies have no, I mean, they just feel like to make some money. They don't care about the core problems, where the problems are coming from. Because
I
as you said,
understand.
yeah,
The thing is,
uh-huh.
please understand that when I'm from the era when I started driving the car, there was not a single seat belt used to be there. When the
Yeah.
seat belt came, nobody put it on. Then government said ki if you don't put on seat belt,
Hmm.
we'll put the punishment on the company which is
Hmm.
providing the car for not putting the seat belt.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
we put the punishment on the people that despite having seat belt not wearing it. So the
Hmm.
company retrofit with not exactly a seat belt, but just a belt across the chest. At least that
Hmm.
start giving some
Hmm.
protection. So my view is that everything has to move together. It cannot move
Yeah.
even if you as an individual maybe, but how you will propagate that you are secure, you are more innovative than the other chap who's providing cheaper solution, who's
I
providing
mean,
because your
so
investment
what
is
we
too
gonna do
high.
here? I mean, as you
Your
said, Mr.
investment is too high.
Mukesh. Yeah.
See, I'm sorry,
As you
we
said,
must get other people also. I'd like to have we
no,
hear
no.
other people.
So as you said right now about the like how we gonna start with it, as you said, like then as a company we have that kind of product line that from the beginning when you start just jumping on the car, we'll take care of from there, and that's why we are different from other company. That's all.
I appreciate
So
that.
you
I
know,
appreciate
I mean,
what I
I'm trying
say
to.
is how you will
Hmm.
compete. See, this is an open world.
Okay.
When you do pure innovation, hard
Hmm.
work, the cost of you will be higher than those who collect the
Hmm.
API, assemble them, and present it.
Hmm.
Okay?
That's true.
So
That's
they
true.
will be cost efficient wise, they will be far more efficient than you.
Hmm.
Consumer can to him the trust in you and trust in them is same. Though
Hmm.
factually you may be far more secure.
Hmm. Hmm.
Understand? So you will lose out in competition.
Yeah, maybe. But
You
you
will
know,
lose out
like
in competition.
in the
So it is
beginning, you have to lose to make sure
develop an
these people can
ecosystem.
understand.
We need to develop an ecosystem in which, of course, when we say that there are 20 companies and they're well, and then we start putting the scorecards, you can do so many things. You can have the innovation discussions like this one we are having, where you put a scorecard. This is the highest secure cap. This is non-API developed. This is totally in-house developed. So you can have scorecards later on. But until you have an ecosystem, I'm suggesting that you have the ecosystem. I'm least interested that how you do
Absolutely.
it. These are my suggestion that you accept that
Wonderful, sir.
and can work on it.
Hmm. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. So now I would request Shatogi to call the next speaker of the session. You please switch on your speaker. Switch on your. We can hear you.
Yeah, Mike is off.
Swaminaman Srivastava, cybercrime investigator, has joined us in our discussion. But before that, we will move on to Dr. Harikrishna Maram, digital brand ambassador. Sir, will you please share your insights on this topic?
Yeah, digital greetings to each one of you. And it is wonderful to be a part of this great topic with the esteemed panel to talk on the data security in fintech. I represent the education industry where we have closely in India 450 million students from primary education to the PhD with 1,000 plus universities and 51 colleges and 1 million primary schools. So in the last 18 months, the scenario is like most of the payments of parents is happening through online because earlier all things were physical. So now the classes are online. Even the stakeholders, even the promoters, unable to come to the campuses. So now every transaction is happening through using the fintech technology, and mainly, 80% of the institutes. This is a very new thing. Only the COVID, taught us how we can able to make it simplify the transactions using the technology, the fintech technology. So my experience, part of couple of the educational associations like EPSI, IMA, AIMS. As a governing board, we keep interacting with a lot of these educational institutes, so they feel a little difficult at the initial stage to adapt into the technology completely, because they have a lot of each school or university or college, if you look, they have a big finance team sitting and collecting the physical cash. So now everything is moved to the online, and now slowly people realized is they wasted a lot of resources earlier of collecting these fees and keeping a department for this, and paying a huge salaries, and not only the salaries, a lot of security issues, a lot of the transactional issues with the banks, with other stakeholders. So now using this technology is made things so simple. Like now each day the stakeholder will come to know what is the cash and balance, how the transactions are happening, what is the remaining the fees collections, and how good the things are happening and the financially position. And when it comes to the even the parents, it becomes so easy that without visiting the campus, they can just pay with a click of the button these all the money. And now since it is like using the the fintech methods, so they have other flexibility of paying this amount, not only through NEFT from their bank account. Now they have a flexibility paying using the credit card. Using earlier it was not there. So now they have a lot of time to repay and the flexibility to repay. So these are the advantages what I see in the area of mainly in education. So I think education is lot benefited using this. And again, the data security is very important. We always call data is dollar. Even the flyer which this panel discussion was there, I see a lot of currency and a lot of symbols of rupee. Yes, definitely. We are little worried because all our student database is in the system. How a fintech company can protect this entire database without leaking to someone. So because the data is again very important, very crucial for any institution, educational institution, because we run multiple courses, we run multiple programs. So these all students, whatever already we are able to acquire to our institute with a lot of expenditure, with a lot of digital marketing initiatives and all. So now that is the one big thing where we are unable to get a complete kind of a confidence on the fintech companies that our student data is secured. So these are the couple of issues mainly in the area of education when it comes to the data security. Thank you very much, connecting me part of this wonderful panel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insight, sir. Sir, I have a very small question for you,
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
sir.
So, do you think the entire industry, the education industry, is also adapting to this new digital wave? So, do you think the industry is ready? Even the people who are working in the core of the industry, suppose the workers, the staffs of the education industry, they do have this kind of significant awareness on data security or data safety. If it is not, then how we can really enhance that with the time?
Yeah, I think this is a valid question. Now, I think in the last 18 months, after the IT industry, the second, the large number of users using the technology is the education only. Now, even the primary education kid is adapted to the online classes and he is using the digital devices. So I think the adoption is now slowly is gone now. We see a lot of benefits out of this, and we completely now adopted. Now our faculty is able to deliver sessions across the world. Earlier they were constrained to the only the 60 student classroom or 40 student classroom. Now they become a global teachers. So the same way the financial transactions also become the most common because the campuses are closed. There is no way people can able to come and physically pay the money. So I think we slowly adapted. Now we see a lot of benefits, and luckily these all fintech companies are very aggressive of converting these educational institutions by offering a lot of benefits like nil transaction fees, and people can pay using any kind of like a credit card, debit card, NEFT, or wallets. So these all made all the people to adapt to this system, and now things are going, I think, in very systematic basis.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
answer.
Thank you.
Okay, Shatuki, I would request Shatuki again to join the next speaker. Please call in the next speaker.
Our next speaker is Atul Kulkarni, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, will you please share your insights into this topic?
Uh, Hello, Satyaki. Thanks for inviting me, and thank the SCAN team for inviting me to this event of panel discussion. So today's topic is impact of data privacy on fintech. So I will talk mostly based on the perspective of police perspective of how different cyber crimes are happening, how it is affecting common people, and what are some of steps the government is taking from grassroots point of view, like police being in the cutting edge. Any complainant who loses money or any issue with the cyber thing, they approach the local police station immediately. So what happens at this arena, and how do we protect the data and data privacy on the web? This is briefly what I will speak. So mostly what we are seeing is because of COVID and lockdown. As the previous speaker was telling, so if most of the people who were offline, like education, the school system, so most of them are gone into a online mode. So most of the data is getting online. All the classes, education, healthcare, even meetings, everything is happening on the online platform. This becomes a potential vulnerable point for any person who wants to exploit this data which is put on the online mode. So most many times we have seen complaints that uh, huge database information got leaked. So when I was in previous posting, I'll tell mostly based on my few of the case studies, which will be interesting to the audience here. So one of the company that was a call center. So they had databases of lakhs of their customers. They were mostly into selling some products. So, example, weight loss products, some medicine, some Ayurvedic products, some beauty products. So they were into this, and their one of the employee, insider employee, uh, had given some clue to few of the person just routinely, and that was exploited by one of the very professional hacker, and their entire database of their customers was breached, and it was put on an open domain, and the company was in such a flix, they didn't know what to do. So and then their most of their uh, top clients were US clients, and uh, the US client had wanting to sue them for a very huge money for all the breach of data. So then we got into the investigation. We tried to see where the data breach has happened, who has entered into their firewall, and then how technically what all evidences could we get, and which IP addresses were used. Then we pinpointed on few IP addresses. Then it was that a former employee, he was in a top management in that company. So he had left the company 6 months ago, but he had the username, some admin admin details, credentials he had, and he was using a previous laptop so of the company, which he had not even given it back to the company. So like this, we did an investigation, found out who had entered into the firewall, and he had smartly given the data to someone else, and through another layer, through using Tor and other very secure networks, it was accessed from a US based IP. So like this, we found out what is the link, who was this main person, and for us to reach the real physical person was also very important. We find out some IP addresses, and we are not able to locate where this person is. So that also becomes challenging for policing perspective. Law enforcement agencies generally find this problem. So we could get into that and pinpoint it, and it became very good a case study of getting the culprit into our hand, and then we could see what all things they had used. So this is one thing, and most of the crimes, cyber crimes, which we see are very sort of day-to-day citizens who are using now these days all this online payment modes. So Google Pay, Phone Pay, etc. They're using all the net banking things on their mobile. So criminals generally target them, and I found I am we are seeing that the physical daroda, the traditional, you are hearing that daroda gang rehta hai, in Chambal forest, and they come, they attack the people. So this is not happening now. The criminals are gone into the cyber world, and they are looting. There are some many complaints we found that they are lost 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, even up to 25 lakhs, etc. So your hard-earned money is lost. Why? Because the criminals, once we intercepted a gang, so they said that they had all the databases of lot of bank, the bank details of lot of customers. So SBI, example, SBI data was leaked on some darknet portal. So they got those data, and they were calling all these customers. So this is a way of data privacy breach, and the criminals got hold of the data, on the darknet, and they call you and they ask they tell most of your details, and then they say that we are calling from bank or RBI, we want to update your pin, you'll get a OTP, share that OTP, etc. This is one mode where the data breach happened, and normal citizens believe that it is a call from bank or something. Then they share their details. They themselves, most of the time, they themselves share their OTP, etc., and then they lose their money. Now, second thing is the honey trapping kind of honey trap kind of crimes. So you are either lured into some scheme. So आपको 10 लाख का गाड़ी अभी 50,000 में मिल रहा है. So मैं आर्मी ऑफिसर हूँ, आई एम अ पुलिस ऑफिसर, आई एम वर्किंग इन सम आर्मी बेस, so I have to sell this vehicle, etc. तो अच्छा स्टोरी बना देते, and you feel that we are getting something good in this return.
Okay.
Sometimes they say that some consignment has come from abroad. You have to pay for something for clearing custom duty pay करना है, etc. तो he said अरे वो बहुत बड़ा बढ़िया गिफ्ट आ रहा है, कोई ने भेजा है मेरे को. So they, because they have your detail, they say that your sister from US etc. ये नाम से courier आया है. You believe that, yes, you don't even call your sister, you think अरे sister ने कुछ gift भेजा होगा, why should I not spoil the fun. So एक बार दो बार transaction होते हैं, then they call their sister, they said अरे हमने कोई gift ही भेजा नहीं है. So these things, because you are lured into something where they exploit your greed. And here also they have some data about your credentials. So in this way, people get into that trap, and they become victim to this. One more very deadly thing is uh, one uh, one gang was there. They were caught in Rajasthan, but complainant was in our Maharashtra also. So this gang used to show what do you say, nude girls on live webcams. So ये victim आया था. He was very shy initially. We counseled him. Then he said, "Sir, मेरा पूरा connect हो गया." Means they connected him on the live webcam, and girls started stripping, etc. And this person, victim, he had masturbated. So they took his video and had blackmailed him left and right. So he said मैंने अभी तक 5 लाख दिया है just to not make my video viral to my family members. So they were having their family members name, email ID, और किसी फैमिली मेंबर को भेज भी दिया था. So इतना इसका फट गया था. Finally we had to go deep in and find out where this gangs were. So they are sitting mostly in Jharkhand, Jamtara kind of places, West Bengal, some Rajasthan. So young fellows, they get hold of this technology. कोई बता देता है, ज्ञान बता देता है, ऐसा ऐसा है. They start indulging in this cyber crime. So very difficult to trace them and uh, catch this. So this type of crimes are happening, and last most important thing is crimes against young girls and women. So we had a classic case of 4 girls from different colleges, very young girls. In their Instagram page, they had morphed this persons had morphed their photos and made it viral on their own Instagram page. They had created a duplicate Instagram page where they sent their link, and these girls typed in their username password. तो उनका यूजर नेम पासवर्ड उनके इसमें डेटाबेस में मिल गया फॉर्म में. तो दे लॉग्ड इनटू द रियल अकाउंट्स and खुद अपलोड कर दिए, and they sent it to all their college students. So the girls were in such a pathetic state, they wanted to commit suicide. because they are very young, they are very vulnerable, and they don't know how to react to this. And this was a very challenging case. So we caught these criminals also from UP, and there were few of them who were targeting especially small young girls. So the many times it happens that your Facebook account is not logged, your Instagram, you don't know who is following you just to get more likes, and you are very vulnerable on the digital platform. So this awareness of these different types of crimes are happening. So we are taking the government itself is taking a lot of initiatives to bringing awareness. तो सबको क्राइम के बारे में एंड हाउ डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ वल्नरेबिलिटीज या वो कैसे एक्सप्लॉइट होते हैं सो गवर्नमेंट इज टेकिंग लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स एंड lot of new portals are created in coordination with central government, banks, and police department. So, kuch bhi crime hota hai, if you are losing money, 5,000, 10,000, you can report it. There is a new portal which was started. There is a helpline number now, so you can report it. And if there is some correct means, if there is a breach from bank side or there is a problem, then they will refund your amount. So awareness also, a lot of drives are created. We as district SP, so we also take a lot of initiatives going in schools, colleges, online platform, in our social media pages. So we try to create awareness. So and a prompt registration of the complaint and following up and helping the victims in these sensitive cases and counseling them. So these are the things which we are trying from our end. So this is what I wanted to tell. If anyone has questions, then we
Sir,
can discuss.
I have a question, sir, for you.
Yeah.
So, सर जब आप लोग कोई इन्वेस्टिगेशन करते हो मतलब एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू साइबर क्राइम तो सबसे ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग कौन सा पार्ट होता है इज इट द रिसोर्स विच यू आर यूजिंग सपोज द मैन पावर विच इज यूज्ड फॉर द इन्वेस्टिगेशन उनका जो स्किल है वो या द टूल्स दैट यू यूज फॉर फॉरेंसिक कलेक्शन फॉर साइबर फॉरेंसिक्स एंड एवरीथिंग उसका अपग्रेडेशन या जो भी बोले सबसे ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग कौन सा पार्ट है फ्रॉम योर साइड
ये फर्स्ट चैलेंज तो फर्स्ट पार्ट आपने जो बताया हमारा स्टाफ ट्रेन नहीं है एक्ट में कैसा है कि ओनली इंस्पेक्टर एंड अबव शुड इन्वेस्टिगेट द केस अभी क्या है कि इंस्पेक्टर हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में अभी वो 30 साल हो गया जब भी 30 साल हो जाते हैं वो इंस्पेक्टर होता है और उसको तो हेड एंड टेल पता नहीं है टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में अभी सब इंस्पेक्टर से यंग ऑफिसर से बट दे डोंट हैव द पावर टू इन्वेस्टिगेट तो एक्ट में ये प्रॉब्लम है बट ये दिस इज द मेन इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग महाराष्ट्र में तो टूल्स काफी हमको मिले हैं एंड समटाइम्स द इंफॉर्मेशन डेटा विच हैज टू बी गॉट फ्रॉम फेसबुक इंस्टाग्राम वो बहुत बहुत बार देते नहीं है ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है जैसे दे जस्ट डिनाइड सेइंग दैट it is doesn't come under our jurisdiction you have to apply it through legal route we are US based companies etc ये भी challenges आता है mainly our staff is not tech oriented and sound to handle many cases ये बहुत बड़ा challenge है
thank you sir thanks for the opinion and thanks for this wonderful sharing all the real time things or the scenarios which you face every day so now Satyaki please if you could call the next speaker of the session so
I would now like to call upon Dr. Samya Datta to speak on the subject.
Good evening, Satyaki. Thank you for inviting me and the KARN from the KARN Robotics, Viscript. Thank you so much for inviting me and making me a part of this esteemed panel. All this time I was listening to the experts and I was learning in the process. There's so much to learn because I represent media academics and also a person who is naive as far as this whole thing is concerned. Almost you can say a lay person, a commoner who is looking at this, maybe facing such kind of issues. on a daily basis. Now, first of all, if I look at it from the media perspective, I can just look into some of the incidents that have been reported and how well media is reporting on these issues. Because as it has been discussed by some of the experts, that media has a huge role to play because we need those informations. And are those informations being categorically given to the readers? That's one thing. Yes, if I just look at the this prior to this pandemic, if I look into that situation, I can say that in 2018 there were some major issues involving data breach that happened. One of the infamous was that Aadhaar card data breach that occurred and it was reported in the media, widely reported. But the main problem with this was that when there is a data breach of such a big magnitude, then where are we heading? Right? Because this I'm speaking from a layman's perspective as well, that our other thing is considered to be something which is secure, and this data breach resulted in 1.1 billion data breach, 1.1 billion, starting from account details to IFSC codes, everything was leaked. And there were instances, this were all reported in the media, that people were selling such informations for, say, for example, 500 rupees, something like that. It was all published in the media. It came like that. There have been certain other issues which have been reported during that time only. One was the incident of the Cosmos Bank, where a corpus of around more than 94 crores was siphoned off by the hackers. And there are many more. And now with the pandemic, that we are looking at a situation where more and more we are digitally dependent because we have to move into the digital space, and it has wide potentials, huge potentials. Digital India has a huge promise for all of us. With this promise, there are problems which are lurking, dangers which are lurking. Now, one of those dangers is this, that you are getting an SMS, and this is also being published in the media. This I'm citing a Hindu report, where it says that this is a novel phishing activity that is happening, where they are using SMSs which are giving links to sites which are impersonating just like a bank website. So as a layman, I am not in a position to know whether this is that original website of the bank. It looks just like that original one, but it's a duplicate one that has been created. And in this particular report which I'm citing, they gave the platform that was used was NGROK. That was the platform. I think the experts who are here will be in a better position to throw light on this, about these platforms. This particular platform was used, and such kind of crimes were committed. As we are speaking, in September 21, there was an adversary on the part of CERT, that is this Computer Emergency Response Team, and they have an adversary, and this was reported also, and also we needed to visit their website to know that there is again a new Android-based malware which is being used, and this is impersonating the income tax return filing. Okay, so as a layperson, how am I supposed to know that this website which I'm looking at is just like as an original income tax website? I'm going for it, the data is getting compromised, my informations are being taken, and if I'm not aware, this certain things are happening. So where does media step in here? So one is this perspective of the layperson who doesn't know, because these hackers are so smart that they're doing things in such a manner that it's very hard to understand that what they're up to. And they're impersonating just like the original ones. Now, from a media perspective, one thing definitely is there, that as far as this ATM hackings that have happened, or this kind of um, various platforms being used for hacking, the reports regarding them have been there. They have been published. But is it enough? I don't think it is enough. More needs to be done from the media perspective. More awareness is needed, because more and more, if we move into this digital platform, media has a very significant role to play. This I feel like from an academic perspective, looking at media from a distance and understanding, and looking at the reports that have been published, over the years regarding this issue, which is a serious menace that we are looking at, that media need to reflect on it more from the societal perspective so that the layman understands that which link to click and which not. Just now, uh, uh, we were listening to the crime perspective, which our esteemed panelist was saying that there have been such case studies where people have been lured into situations. Now, why they're getting lured in? Because they are not aware about the various things involved. They are not technically that much proficient. The media steps in here and might be there can be some kind of awareness that can be done on the part of the media, telling them that what to do and what not. That doesn't mean that we all need to be cyber experts, that we leave to the cyber experts which are there, who are there, they are doing their job with zeal and a purpose for the national good. But then as lay persons, as people who are, you know, reflecting on the situation, trying to understand the situation and scared to some extent, because nowadays whenever a message comes or an SMS comes, I feel scared that if there is a link to something, where is this going to lead me to? Because it's promising some kind of a financial gain or something like that. Just now it's put forward in one or two case studies. Social media, yes, through social media, when we observe, there's a huge menace that is there, huge menace, because we all, like as so was saying just now, that we are all going after the likes which are there, in Facebook and Instagram, and we are just adding on people like that. We don't check their backgrounds, and I can tell you one thing which happened just few days with me only, over Facebook. There was one person who came and was asking money, and this person's profile was the same profile as another person in my contact list, whom I knew from a long period of time. And I knew instantly that this person is not a person to ask money like this. That said that I'm in real trouble. If you can just transfer me 20, 30, or 30,000, he asked, that just the phone, I will return you during this period of time. I immediately understood that this is a person who is an impersonator. He has somehow, some made a clone kind of this fake profile and going to people. Now, I knew this person from a long time to understand that this is fake. But what about many others who have been duped in the process? And I came to know that yes, there have been issues where people have fallen prey to such kind of things. So, just to conclude on this from a media and a layman's perspective, I would say that more information sharing regarding this is needed. I would say that the debates that we have over 9 p.m., kind of shouting matches that happen at time, if we can have some real serious debate on the cyber issues as they're increasing by the day with the digital transactions, right? If we just give a panel on a live 9 p.m. and call, experts like this who are there presently, all the cyber experts who are there, the police experts who are there from the police force, call them and tell and make people aware about the situation which is really grave and how they can combat such situations, because this is more problematic for people who are older in age, because they are in one way not very conversant with smartphone usage. And I know people that they're constantly calling them and asking that, I have your retirement details and certain money you haven't got. This money will come to you. You just send me few details on your end. And they will invariably asking certain details from them. Okay. So these are the areas which I think media need to focus on more. More reportage on these areas, more focusing on these areas will help. Uh, Giving more space to cyber experts and cyber companies like here, the KARN, Robotics, that what they're working on, how they can effectively give solution to banks and financial institutions. That how this can be made more foolproof. Because what I understand from the reports is that the banking system security that we have here in this country is can be breached, and they are repeatedly getting breached. This is scary for a person. If I talk from a naive person point of view, from layman's perspective, that am I secured in keeping money with the banks? That if suddenly one fine morning I find that all my money is gone, right? So there are these two perspectives which I wanted to talk on. One is definitely from the media perspective, media education perspective, that where media has an important role to play. Definitely, it's playing an important role, but much more, as I told, that more and more like this prime time debates and all on these issues, because this is a serious issue that we are looking at. Also, with that, how media can make the layman aware about what to do and what not to do. Like this is being limited to a panel discussion here. And we are here, there might be an audience, and then when you are going to put it on web, YouTube and other platforms, many others are going to watch it and know. But how to reach more people? How can media be roped in this information sharing? So this is only one area which I felt that media has an important role, and this interconnectivity has to be there, where all these issues can be brought forward um, in the media realm, and through that, so that the layman on the road can understand what needs to be done and what can be done. Thank you all, and again, thank you for making me part of a panel which is so esteemed. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, yes,
So
please.
you are a mentor. You are actually mentoring the future journalist also. So from being a mentor, how will you make them understand the difference, basic difference between breaking news? Because breaking news is the buzz today. So if they go and work in any industry, as you spoke about the 9 p.m. or the 6 p.m. prime time, so they have to be a part of that system. So how they will differentiate between the breaking news part and data privacy? Because often we have seen the journalists compromised on data. They have made big blunders. So we hardly understand because we are running behind the news. I'm also a journalist, so I know the kind of irony which is there. So what's your how will you do that?
Being a journalist yourself, you have pinned on the point, and you have actually raised certain issues which are the burning issues now. But are the journalists themselves sensitized to deal with these issues? In many cases, no, because a lot of data have been breached, and there has been a lot of callousness on their part as well. So this rightly pointed out by you. But as mentors, how we are looking at it, I think you must be aware of it, and other panelists also. There's a new and emerging field in journalism called data journalism, right? I think you must be aware about it. Now, in data journalism, there is this scope for data privacy. When I can tell you that there was a seminar that I conducted in my college with another department, where we brought in persons from the data security field as well. Okay, so apart from dealing with the data, you also need to understand that how to secure your data. And if you're using Python programming to extract data, then you also need to understand that how to secure the data. So from a mentor point of view, as you asked, that it is my duty, and I tell it to my students, that when these new courses and things are coming up, this will go hand in hand, right? With data journalism, as you learn a new area, you also need to learn that first how to secure your data after you have extracted the data from somewhere. Otherwise, you have extracted the data and the data leaks, and it is gone to places where it ultimately will do more harm than good. So this is how I'm trying to reach out in my small little capacity.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So I would again request my colleague Satsuki to call in the next speaker.
Thank you, sir. We now introduce Swami Naman Srivastava to speak on the issue. Hello, sir.
Okay, so being one of the youngest panelists here, so I have a lot of responsibilities to represent all the youngsters here, and I want to make sure that all the everyone like sitting here who are younger than older than us and like our previous generation from us should be very much confirmed that the future is in good hands. For that, I'll start beginning with what exactly the technical things are. I've joined here as a technical guy, so I'll talk about all the technical things. I'll put all the technical perspectives so that it should be very much clear for everyone, those who are even new to the cybersecurity industry, for them too. Beginning with the first thing, that is data privacy. It falls into the category of this particular data protection, and you can say that it is just one of the pillars among the data protection in which we are going to talk about data and its privacy. Data privacy is nothing. You can just simply understand protection of all the sensitive data or any kind of data that can reveal any sensitive or personally identifiable information about any individual. Then coming on the next terminology, that is fintech. Fintech is nothing. It's just a combination of two different words, financial and technology. So you can call it as finance-based technology industry, where we are talking about fintech industry. Fintech is nothing. You can understand if there is any business which is using any technology and is working on the financial services to automate all the financial services, it is fintech. That's it. Nothing more about it. There are a few names which you might have heard about, or maybe you will hear in if you're working in the fintech thing. There is Ally Financial, there is N26, there is Venmo. All these are like global based market leaders of fintech. But if we talk about India only, We have Lending Cart, InstaMojo, Rose Pay, and then we have Paytm, Policy Bazaar. All these are like fintech based companies. But the fact is, these are not exactly the fintech. Fintech is being lost. The term, the core is lost. There is no use of new technologies to upgrade to new things. As the like Kern sir himself said, that new things are not being implemented. We need to implement new technologies. We need to bring in new things into it. Fintech is required into industry very much because it is something that is reducing the overall transaction cost for any digital payment, and it is giving a lot into the GTPs, and like it is the core of like digital payment or digital India, or even if you talk about the globe, digital globe. Now, the mistakes that fintechs make is the first one is they present that they are very fast adopting, but the fact is they are the like snails which are adopting very slowly until and unless like they find there are multiple industry working on the same thing, they are not going to adopt that. Next is lack of market research. We have seen that companies are not spending on the market research. Instead, they are trying to get the survey reports from other companies. Third, incapable of choosing right investor. Like they are not choosing the right investor in most of the cases. These investors belong to different domain and they are just popping into put some money into fintech because they see fintech as the next booming industry. We have skill shortage. Definitely, skill shortage is there because number of trained individuals are too low that even the common things are not being fulfilled. Next, we have the customer support something like the brand value or the reputational value which company has to build if they are in the fintech. But what they are doing is they are ignoring the customer reviews, customers feedback, and they are just doing what they want to do, which is, I guess, which is not good for a fintech based company. They should hear the customers, they should talk to them, they should carry out the feedback sessions, they should host a session with globally where we are going to talk to them, we are going to provide feedbacks like you have to change these things or you have to do these things or not. Next, there are few like malware attacks on different fintech companies like Finastra, and there has been CNA financial attack. These are the both two different companies which represents two different types of working when they are being attacked by any ransomware or malware. Both were hit by the ransomware attack, but the way they deal with this particular ransomware attack was different. CNA Financial, due to the lack of skill, due to the lack of knowledge, they paid $40 million as the ransom, whereas the particular Finastra didn't pay any single penny to the ransomware attackers. They just made all the backups to be in action, and then their BCP was working perfectly fine. That no money was needed to be paid to the ransomware attackers. Now, coming on the like cybercrime part in India itself, if we see this pre-COVID period and the post-COVID period, we'll see that the hike in COVID, the cybercrime has increased exponentially. This is just because people are sitting at home, they are learning new things, and they are falling short of the jobs. They need to like do something to earn their livelihood, and for that particular thing, they are going on the cybercrime ends. Now, I've been a cyber investigator from quite a long time, and I've been investigating into cybercrimes for which I came across multiple things. Just like Atul sir mentioned earlier, that there has been these things going on like Instagram, and then video call opening up, and then stripping things are going on. People are being like falling a prey for it. Um, what we need to do for that is actually there is one thing known as training and awareness campaigns, which this as Karan is taking right now. Like we are speaking here and we are delivering things. This is quite good, and I'm really like grateful to be a part of this particular panel to speak and to deliver what I want to convey. And like I'm also ICMCP mentor, so there I have felt one thing is that this is not just a problem in India itself. This problem is throughout the globe, and we need to fix this thing throughout the globe. We need to train people from like early stages. In India, the biggest problem is still the student isn't like completing their graduation or they're completing their 12th. They do not know what exactly they want to do. That is the biggest problem that we are facing right now. So I'll close all thing. I'll wind up here, and I'll just mention that the the main thing that we need to change is the core in the education sector. That we should incorporate this cyber security thing from the like very young phase.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for this insight. Thanks for the insights. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a very small question for you. So, being a techie, what do you think? What are the biggest challenges when you go for an investigation or you go for a training? If I tell you about the entire scenario in India, if I talk about India, then what do you think? What are the biggest challenges that you face as a techie or as a cybercrime expert when you deal with this kind of scenes?
Actually, the fact is, the least awareness factor is the biggest problem. Like, tools are very easily available. We are the cyber guys, we are the tech geeks. We know how to find tools. We know how to get the tools. We know how to find cracks. That is something different thing. But when we are dealing with these things, sometimes what I feel, I won't like, I'm not intended to like offend someone, but the fact is, even the police officers or the like who are involved into the investigation, they are investigating from past 5 to 6 years or 10 years. Even they are not very much aware of the recent cybercrime incident, how they are happening, what should be the methodology to investigate them, what should be the digital forensic steps that should be taken. Like, what I feel from my particular like learning or experience is that last past 3 years has been like into this thing. And one thing that I'm very much sure about is uh, we should have a separate cyber investigation department, or maybe a unit that is dedicated for cyber investigation and awareness only.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Swami. Yeah. Now, I would again invite Karan on this to, I think we have completed all, we have seen all the panelists, what they have presented, all their views. So I would like to again call Karan and please let us know what do you think, because how, if you can round it up, the entire thing for us before we end this session.
I mean, see, after listening all of these people, thank you again. But after listening all of these people, like what I felt really, like, I mean, the way things are going on technically about the cybercrime or maybe the cyber problem, and then after it's a fintech that we are talking today, is about like as Mr. Soumya Datta, as I remember from media, he said about like the awareness has to be in a way that can go reach to a mass people, and that's the reality of this, to make sure, because what we are here and what we are providing here is about some kind of whole ecosystem that can take the problem from the core. You know what I'm trying to say? And if we're not gonna see the problem from the beginning, it's not going to be I mean, there is no solution of it. Because if you're gonna think like, okay, every single day someone is having a problem and you're gonna go and find the solution, and then after you're gonna save that person, that is not going to protect all these people. You know what I'm trying to say? To protect all these people together, we have to work on a whole kind of ecosystem product line, and that's why it took me quite a long time to come into the market, because I always knew it. Because if I'm gonna come with just a search engine, I'm not gonna provide you the privacy that you are looking into. You know what I'm trying to say? As all of the people like from Mr. Maram, Mr. Sani, and Somi, and Atul, he was saying about like this real problem that is coming from, as I was listening to him as well. And what I found out is like people from sitting in different countries, they're not going to be providing your data if you are a wrong person, because they think like, okay, this is not my jurisdiction, as you call it. But if we have a solution in our own country, and we know that if it's the wrong person, we can track them, we can find them, and we should help them to, protect those, the problems that are going to start from these bad people, as you call it, maybe criminal or someone. But if we're not gonna take those kind of solution, and if we're not gonna help the home ground products, or maybe you can say like companies, then it's not going to be like something that you might gonna solve it. That's as far as I understood. Because I mean, from last few years, I've been and I have seen like how things are going on in the market, and what I have realized is like no one cares about, first of all. And as Somi, what he said, and what I realized from him, because I'm not gonna comment on that because I'm also a company, so I don't want to comment on that. But that's the reality, you know what I'm trying to say. And once there is some kind of reality, then it means like something is wrong from inside, not from outside. So to solve the problem, we need to get into the inside. And once we're gonna start solving the problem from inside, and what I realized, because my product is working globally from day one, but still one thing I realized, like this is not just a problem of our country, or maybe any country that we are talking about. I'm not going to mention the name, because it's 190 countries that we are working in right now. And if we talk about like 190 countries, then the thing that we have to worry about is about पहले अपने खाने को अगर नहीं मिलेगा तो दूसरे को क्या खिलाएंगे? You wrong point. So we have to think about ourselves first, and then after we'll think about other people. You know what I'm trying to say? So according to me, I mean, I want to bring all of you guys together, and we can see like if you have you know better than solution of it, or because you guys talk about lots of problems. I never heard a solution of it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I always want people to understand like we got the solution, we got the problems that we are solving in, and we just need you guys to come out there and talk about these things, what we can offer and how we can resolve these problems that we are going to face in upcoming future. Because even today, you guys have already seen it, but we didn't have that solution. That's why we started this kind of events and conversation that people can understand about what we can offer and how we can protect those things. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I mean, I'll love to hear you guys what you're saying according to myself, what I have elaborated by now.
Thank you, Karan. Thanks for this. The entire you have created a atmosphere for the entire session. I think you have given all the views. Wonderful. I believe everybody has given their views. So this is that's all for us. I would like to again thank all the panelists who came
Thank you.
in such a short notice. So we would definitely meet again, and we will continue this discussion. We will continue our mission to aware people and to sensitize people on this particular issue, because we believe that this is very important today. This is the future. If we really want to secure our future, then we have to continue this. I would again thank all of you. Thank you, Karn,
Thank you.
Sattaki, everybody. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe. Thank you,
Good
sir.
night. Yeah. Mr. Moram, you're saying something.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.